Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
Do I have everybody's attention now? Do I have everybody's attention now?
Don, I got you.
Do I have everybody's
Sunday
attention
night.
now?
You put them cameras on me, then you must be willing to get that heart touch. This a must-see feeling. The news ain't good, then it must be villain. So I say a tag grounded, I don't trust these ceilings. Spread across your nose, and I'm on your ear. Highest necks on the cloud. Hammer in the air, Sunday nights, prime time. I flex my better, Voltron transform to DX Don. Mega and off-scene. You probably think I'm nice, cause I slow like a stream to your wireless device. And the smoke full of steam on any given night. I'll short like a piece of any given slice. And for the latest and what is best about, I tune in and tune the rest out, Don. You gotta tell them, am I in the clear? Is this thing on? Am I on the air? On the air.
Well, what is going down, everybody? Welcome to another brand new edition of Am I on the Air? I am your host, Don Mega, and I welcome you to the show on this Tuesday, May the 5th. Today's episode is Season 10, Episode 17. It's called Age of Awesome. And it's Age of Awesome, of course, because the baddest ass movie, my number one most anticipated film of the year, just came out, and it did not disappoint. Of course, I'm talking about Avengers Age of Ultron. So, we're going to be doing a little movie review there for that here in a minute. And, of course, bringing you up to speed with all the latest and greatest in entertainment news of the past week. So welcome once again. We are live here from the Red Dragons Radio Studios. And before we get started, I want to shout a couple things out. Yesterday, we posted our brand new episode of Red Dragons Assemble. This is our third episode discussing everything of entertainment news for the month of April. It's our April news roundup. And once again, if you're newer to the show and you don't know about Red Dragons Assemble, let me tell you about it. Red Dragons Assemble is a show that's myself, along with Geeky Pat and Peeps, on Twitter at For My Peoples. So the three of us, we get together at the beginning of every month, and we do a show under the name Red Dragons Assemble, where we basically collect all the biggest news of the previous month and talk about it. So on our new episode, we talk about Avengers Age of Ultron, we talk about Suicide Squad, the Joker, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Furious 8, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, X-Men Apocalypse, Civil War, Days of Future Past, the S.H.I.E.L.D. spin-off show. We talk about all the new trailers that dropped in April. James Wan possibly directing Aquaman and Robotech. We talk about the Flash movie, 21 Jumpstreet and 23 Jumpstreet crossover films, and a whole bunch more. And of course, we do kind of our monthly movie review wrap-up, which is covering Furious 7, Unfriended, Paul Blart 2, Ex Machina, and Age of Ultron. It's an awesome, awesome show to listen to because you get, three different opinions. I mean, sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree, but you get a nice smorgasbord, I should say, of ideas and reviews and stuff like that. So check out Red Dragons Assemble. Listen to the new episode. It's called 3. It's just simply called 3. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Stitcher. But, of course, you can find it on reddragonsradio.com. Just click on the tab that says Red Dragons Assemble. So go check that out. That just dropped yesterday on Monday, May the 4th. Be with you. Today is Revenge of the 5th. So we're bringing you Am I on the Air today. But just some other programming notes. We are, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, on Thursday this week, we will be recording on the 7th, and we're going to be doing an Am I Still on the Air Age of Ultron spoiler review. So I hope to assemble the team back together and add friggins to the mix, and we're going to break down Avengers Age of Ultron from top to bottom, completely with spoilers, so we can talk about the film freely, where we think it's going, and not have to hold back anything. Of course, our review on the movie today, on today's Am I on the Air, will be spoiler free, so don't worry about that. It's always spoiler free here, but we're going to jump back into the Am I Still on the Airs and get you that spoiler review. Definitely want to get that banged out this week. And if everything also goes according to plan, next Thursday, the 14th, I will be dropping another Am I Still on the Air, which will be a special interview with my boy Sparrow. Sparrow does the theme song you hear for this show every single week, and he's a good friend of mine. He's an awesome rapper out of New York, but he's a big entertainment fan too, so we're going to get him on. We're going to talk about music, we're going to talk about TV show and movies and the whole nine, and kind of just have a nice little conversation with him. We'll play his new song, Stone Cold Stunna. It'll be a nice little special Am I Still on the Air with Sparrow, so don't miss that. Alright, enough for the plug-in. Let's get with it, and we're going to start off with movie news, movie reviews I should say. First, before I get to Avengers, let me do Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. So, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but basically my stepdaughter really wanted to go see it, so I took her this past Saturday, and now, I love Kevin James. You know, a lot of people talk shit because, you know, he does a lot of kind of kiddie type flicks. So a lot of the grown-ups always say, man, he's just a silly dude and he's dumb and blah, blah, blah. I really like Kevin James. King and Queens is one of my all-time favorite shows, and I try to support everything he does. I like the first Paul Blart. If you haven't seen his movie Here Comes the Boom, that's a great movie. I think you should definitely check that out. And of course, you know, he's popped up in Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2. I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry with Adam Sandler. He'll be in Pixels this summer as well. So, you know, it didn't take too much twisting of my arm to go see Paul Blart 2. But I gotta say, I was a little disappointed. You know, like I said, I thought the first Paul Blart was cute for what it was. I mean, it was kind of a kiddie flick, but it had a lot of heart, and it had some really funny little parts throughout the film. This one here, not so much. Kevin James really takes it to another level with his silliness, and it's definitely really aimed at kids on this go-around. And most of the times that I actually did chuckle, it was all scenes that I saw in the trailer. So that kind of bummed me out, because I was hoping that there'd be a lot more than that. So, you know, basically the premise is kind of silly. I mean, he goes to Vegas for a security guard convention, and of course there's a big heist going on in the hotel at the same time, and his daughter gets kidnapped, and he's got to go rescue her. So, you know, typical stuff. I gave this one 2 out of 5 stars. It was just okay for me, you know. It's probably more of a 1-star film, but I love Kevin James so much, and I give him credit for whatever he tries to put out, you know. And my stepdaughter really liked it. She said, I'll totally go see that again. So it's hitting the right demographic for what it's meant for. So for me, once again, 2 out of 5 for Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Now let's go to Avengers Age of Ultron, baby. This is what I'm talking about. You know, we did an Am I Still on the Air several months back that was our top 10 most anticipated films of 2015. And I did the show with my Red Dragons Assemble crew, and we all three agreed that Avengers Age of Ultron was our number one. And it paid off, man. I think it's going to be very hard for another film to come out and beat this for me this summer, or even for the rest of the year. I loved this film. Me, Geeky Pat, Peeps, Friggins, and a couple other friends of ours, we got a real big group together. There was like 7 of us, and we went to the preview night showing on Thursday, the night before it officially opened, and we saw it in IMAX 3D, and it was incredible, man. It was so incredible. I mean, this movie, the Marvel logo comes up, and then you're instantly into a battle scene with all the Avengers together, and I was just not really expecting that, and it blew my mind just how awesome that action scene was. And the pace just kind of kept going and going and going and going and going, and I loved the pacing of it. I thought the addition of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver was great. I thought James Spader's Ultron was magnificent. I thought Vision was incredible. I know you know Vision's a big surprise in the film because they kind of held back on showing you what he looked like or putting him in any of the trailers, but he's incredible when he finally comes on screen. everyone's awesome here. They really give Hawkeye a lot of stuff to do. You start to feel for the character. You don't know if he's going to die or not, even though I already told you he's going to be in Civil War, but a lot of people didn't believe me and they still thought he was going to die. But it's one of those things that it's just everything worked for me. The only negative that I would come out of it was just I felt that Ultron was created and became who he was too quickly. I felt like there should have been a little bit more time for him to build up to become the robot that we know as Ultron. But it's a 2.5 hour movie and it's really hitting on all cylinders, and there's not enough time sometimes to flesh everything out. Supposedly Marvel will be putting out an extended cut of this film, and I hope it gives us a closer look at what Joss Whedon's original vision was, which was, a 3-hour movie. So, a 3 to 4 hour movie, to be honest. So, without getting into any spoilers, everybody kicks ass in this film. The Hulk is awesome. Black Widow's great. Hawkeye really gets to deliver in this. I thought Elizabeth Olsen was magnificent as Scarlet Witch. I really liked Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver. It was good to see Nick Fury pop back up because, he's been kind of MIA for a little bit since Winter Soldier. And, just to have the team together. Chris Evans is just getting better and better and better as Captain America, and Thor was awesome. I mean, there's so much to this movie, and there's a lot that I want to get into, but I can't because of spoilers. So once again, just keep an eye out for our Am I Still in the Air spoiler review, because we are going to dive into this film. But for a just over-the-topic, general impression, it's awesome. Go see it. 5 out of 5 if there was any shocker or doubt in your mind. So go check it out. 5 out of 5, Avengers Age of Ultron. It's incredible. I hope to go see it again this weekend because there's nothing really big coming out in theaters this weekend. So I really hope that I can take the wife and go get a second viewing in of Age of Ultron. So there are your 2 movie reviews of the week, and let's get into the news. All right, so first off, the Deadpool writers are planning a feature film based on the 1985 new Coke marketing disaster. Cicely Strong from SNL, she's joining Melissa McCarthy in her new film Michelle Darnell. Jeff Daniels has boarded the Divergent series and the Allegiant finale, which is going to be Allegiant split in half, of course. So part 1 and part 2, Jeff Daniels will be in both. Bryan Singer is currently filming X-Men Apocalypse, and he says the new film is one big monster of a movie. He says it'll definitely still feel like an X-Men film, but he says it's the biggest thing they have ever done to date. The Twilight Saga's Alex Mraz has joined Suicide Squad in an undisclosed role. There's a lot of rumors going around that Ben Affleck will be having a cameo in Suicide Squad himself. He has been spotted on set, and they've taken pictures of him. I've seen the pictures of him in a suit looking like Bruce Wayne. Don't know if he's going to be Batman or just Bruce Wayne in it, but it looks like he will be having a cameo in Suicide Squad. There's also a rumor floating around that Jared Leto might be filming an extra scene for Batman v Superman that will be a flashback scene. So that'll be interesting to see if that plays out as well. The Lifetime channel is making an unauthorized Full House tell-all movie. You know how those go. Everybody hates those things. Hulu has nabbed the rights to all Seinfeld reruns, so you'll be able to stream all the episodes of Seinfeld over on Hulu. We do have the complete winner list of the Daytime Emmy Awards. If you're interested, you can go back and check that out on our Facebook and Twitter page. Jenny Slate is going to be starring in a new FX comedy pilot from her movie Obvious Child, from their producing team of that. Over in China, Furious 7 has become the highest grossing film ever in China, passing Transformers Age of Extinction. So, woo, big stuff there. Let's see here. Sorry. Excuse me. The $6 Billion Man movie that's going to be starring Mark Wahlberg has scored Oscar-nominated Scribe. They're getting a new writer on the project, and he is none other than the Academy Award-winning Scribe, Damien Zivron, will be writing the script to the $6 Billion Man. I'm looking forward to this film. I really like Mark Wahlberg, and I think in something like $6 Billion Man, it's going to be actually pretty tight. It was $6 Million Man. I'm not saying it wrong, but in today's day and age, $6 million doesn't buy you much. So he's got to be $1 billion man. A big Fast and Furious ride is coming to Universal Studios. So next time you're in Universal Studios, check out the Fast and Furious ride. That's going to be pretty cool. The Broad City scribes are tapped to write the female 21 Jump Street spin-off film. Yes, I'm sure because of all the controversy over the female Ghostbusters, they decided, let's do it with 21 Jump Street, because that's what Sony Pictures is doing lately. And they've decided to do a female version. And there's a rumor going around, if you remember 21 Jump Street, Dakota Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey, she was one of the females on the Jump Street team, and there was another chick, a black chick on there. The two of them are rumored that it might follow them, but most people are suggesting that they doubt it, and they'll actually go with like two really good comedian chicks to pull it off. So I'm not counting it out. I wouldn't mind seeing a really cool female version of 21 Jump Street, but done in the same way. It has to be a hardcore, rated R, over the top, comedy action movie. Justin Bieber has joined Zoolander 2. Yes, he's going to be going up against Ben Stiller. It's going to be pretty awesome. The Fear the Walking Dead spinoff series has also got a streaming deal over with Hulu. So check that out. Back into the rumor mill, it looks like Ryan Phillippe might be possibly up for Marvel's Iron Fist role. Iron Fist, of course, coming to Netflix. It's the last of their kind of arc, which started with Daredevil and then goes into Jessica Jones, then Luke Cage, then Iron Fist, before they all team up together to do the Defenders. And, Ryan Phillippe is on a show right now called Secrets and Lies, which is doing really, really good. He's kind of back into the public spotlight, and I think he'd actually be a pretty cool Iron Fist, so I'm all up for it. But that is just a rumor. Don't hold anything to it. We are getting a sequel to Kingsman, The Secret Service. This makes me super, super excited. But the only negative here is that we have no word yet if Matthew Vaughn is going to be returning to direct. He possibly is doing the Flash Gordon remake, so he might be tied up with that. So he is definitely going to be on board as a producer, but he might not direct. So that's the only thing holding me back, because I thought he did an amazing job directing the movie. I love Kingsman. It's my third favorite film of the year right now, behind Avengers, Furious 7, and then Kingsman. But I'm very happy to see that a sequel is in development. We have the first teaser trailer and poster for Vin Diesel's new movie, The Last Witch Hunter, which will be hitting theaters on October 23rd. Looks really, really cool. I'm excited for this one. If you're a fan of the show Revenge, I'm sorry to tell you that it is ending, and the season 4 finale will be a series finale. So Revenge is done. On top of the female 21 Jump Street crossover, Sony is moving forward with the Men in Black crossover film with 23 Jump Street. So to kind of, I know a lot of people think this sounds stupid, but I actually think it sounds pretty damn cool. And the reason I do is because of the breakdown that I heard that the directors were looking at. 21 Jump Street is a satire of turning TV shows into movies. 22 Jump Street is a satire on sequels, basically doing the same thing for a laugh. And 23 Jump Street is basically going to be a parody of shared universes. So that's why they're going to be the same characters from 21 and 22 Jump Street, but then they're going to get recruited to become Men in Black agents. So I just really hope that Tommy Lee Jones or Will Smith will make a cameo in this film and be the ones recruiting them into the MIB. But if you've listened to Red Dragons Assemble, you've already heard that Geeky Pat doesn't think it'll be Will Smith, though, because he's bald. Inside joke. You'll have to listen to Red Dragons Assemble, like I told you to, over on reddragonsradio.com. But I'm up for it. I think that a Men in Black crossover with 23 Jump Street would be hilarious. Glenn Mazzara's sequel to The Omen is leaving the Lifetime channel and it has been moved over to the A&E channel, just so you know. Keep an eye out if you're looking for that. Paul Giamatti and Toby Jones have joined the sci-fi thriller called Morgan. Furious 7 director James Wan is in negotiations to direct Sony's Robotech film. Supposedly Robotech Sony wants him so bad for the Robotech movie that even if he signs on, because remember he's in negotiations to do Aquaman, which would be first, and Sony says, we understand if he does Aquaman, we want him so bad that we're willing to push Robotech back and hold out for him to finish Aquaman so he can come do Robotech. So they're really trying to juggle their situation there to accommodate James Wan, which I think shows just a tremendous respect that James Wan already has in the Hollywood circles there. So very, very cool. Ghost in the Shell, starring Scarlett Johansson, has moved its release date. It just moved up a week, so no big deal there. 2 weeks earlier. So instead of April 14th, 2017, it will release on March 31st, 2017. The TV show Helix has been canceled by the Sci-Fi Channel after 2 seasons. Netflix has ordered a new Green Eggs and Ham television series that's going to be produced by Ellen DeGeneres. We got an article up with David Duchovny talking about what to expect from the X-Files revival show. We have the first really clear look of Ben Affleck in the Batman suit from the unaltered Dawn of Justice poster. We talked about this a lot on Red Dragons Assemble, but the posters for Batman v Superman are a close-up picture of Batman with the Superman logo kind of over his face, and then a picture of Superman with the Batman logo over his face. So a picture leaked about a week ago that had the Batman picture but didn't have the Superman logo covering his face. And it looked really, really cool, and it was a black and white picture just like the poster, but then another picture leaked out of him literally standing in full costume in color, and I think it looks incredible. He looks like the best page of a comic to a movie screen version of Batman that we've ever seen. Once again, I'm going to tell you, follow me on Instagram. Go to Instagram.com, look on your phone, download the Instagram app, and just search Am I on the Air. Follow me because I post all these pictures as they drop, so you can see all the Batman pictures, you can see all the new movie posters, you can see everything first look right on our Instagram. It's really blowing up, and it's the best way for you to see everything that's going down. So to see these Batman pictures, go check out the Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, then check them out on our Twitter and our Facebook page. Okay? We have the first trailer for Strangerland, starring Nicole Kidman and Hugo Weaving. We have the first trailer for Wild Horses, starring Josh Hartnett and James Franco. Of course, like the Last Witch Hunter trailer I told you about with Vin Diesel. We have the new Terminator Genesis poster, which looks really, really cool. We have the first poster for Irrational Man, starring Emma Stone and Joaquin Phoenix. We have Everything Wrong With the Incredible Hulk, so check that out. It's actually pretty cool. Watch Dogs 2 is in development. That is a video game for you that don't know. It's not a movie, but Watch Dogs 2 is in development according to Ubisoft. The new David Duchovny show Aquarius, NBC's pulling a Netflix here, and NBC said they're going to make the entire series available online following the series premiere. So they'll do the series premiere on NBC, and then after that it will be available to watch the entire season online. Very, very cool. The Universal Pictures chairman says 50 Shades Darker, the sequel to 50 Shades of Grey, will be more of a thriller than, an erotic, romantic movie. So it's going to be a thriller. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be really thrilling. We have the first official look at X-Men Apocalypse, Jean Grey and Jubilee, all up in their 80s gear, because a lot of people forget X-Men Apocalypse takes place in the 80s, and these girls are very 80s out up in this piece. Leslie Mann is going to be headlining a brand new untitled comedy from the guys that wrote The Hangover. Angela Bassett is coming back to American Horror Story, as she will be in the new American Horror Story Hotel edition that comes out here in a couple months. Universal Pictures and Blumhouse have greenlit Ouija 2, so Ouija 2 will be coming next year. Fear the Walking Dead has recruited Orange is the New Black's Elizabeth Rodriguez for their show. The Power Rangers reboot movie has been delayed 1 year from 2016 to January 2017. LeVar Burton is bringing a brand new Roots to television. I don't know if we need a new version of Roots, but I guess if you want one, it's coming. Jennifer Garner's in talks to join the adaptation of Christy Beam's Miracles from Heaven adaptation to a film. Michael Fassbender's contract is up as Magneto for X-Men, which seems like all the First Class guys are running out of contract. But Michael Fassbender says, I love playing this character, and I will do it for as long as they want to let me, and as long as they keep inviting me back. So I don't think there's any worry there for him to sign a new contract if they want him. Lionsgate Movies is going to be doing a remake of the horror film Cube. I love Cube, and if you haven't seen it, it's really creepy. It's basically these guys get dumped into a box, and it might have 4 exits, but 3 out of the 4 exits are booby traps, and they'll kill you. But you got to try. It's like a maze, and you got to try to find your way out of the cube. It's super creepy. I love it. There was a bunch of sequels. All the sequels kind of sucked, but if you watch the original one, it's way crazy. So I'll be interested to see what they do with the remake of this. Michael Fassbender says everything's moving full steam ahead on the Assassin's Creed movie. They're going to start filming in September, so that is pretty awesome. Oscar-nominated actress Laura Linney has joined Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Let's see how. Star Wars Rebels Season 2 gets a June premiere date, so that'll be premiering here very, very soon. Warner Brothers Pictures has won the rights for Channing Tatum's new sci-fi movie, The Forever War. It's based on the book. It is an adaptation, so that's pretty cool coming from Warner Brothers. The Star Wars Rebels season premiere will actually be an hour long. It will premiere on Disney XD on June 20th. J.K. Simmons and Emile Hirsch are teaming for a brand new comedy called The Runaround. We have the first official look at Stephen Amell as Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. You can check that out. Avengers Age of Ultron scored $27.6 million just in those Thursday preview showings like I went to. Pretty damn impressive. Joss Whedon confirmed that the Loki scene was cut out of Avengers Age of Ultron. Basically, they said they did film something with them, and when they watched the final cut, they just didn't feel like it flowed, and they didn't want to just cram them in there because there's so many characters already. So they decided to just do a deleted scene of that. So hopefully we'll see the deleted scene, or it'll be put back in for the extended cut. We'll see. But that is sad to hear, because I remember Idris Elba said, yeah, me and Tom filmed something for Age of Ultron. So we saw Idris Elba, spoiler alert, in Age of Ultron, and I was like, where the hell's Loki at? Loki is not in the film. His scene was cut. Amy Ryan has joined the cast of Central Intelligence, starring The Rock. Starring The Rock and Kevin Hart. Sorry, I was trying to think of Kevin Hart's name and I was totally spacing it. You can now stream every episode of Star Wars Rebels online for free. You can see all of Season 1. FX Network is teaming with John Singleton on a new drama pilot called Snowfall. There are... I don't know if I can get into this with it being a spoiler. I'm going to skip this news, and we'll talk about it on the spoiler review of Age of Ultron, so I don't want to piss anybody off. The next Star Wars anthology standalone film has lost its director, as Josh Trank has dropped out of the film. So the first anthology film, as we all know, is called Rogue One, and that's the one coming out next year. Then they signed Josh Trank to do the one in 2018, which is now being rumored or even confirmed that it will be a Boba Fett movie. Josh Trank has dropped out, and I don't know what's going on here. They played his dropout very PC. He said, I have great respect for Star Wars and everybody involved. I just decided I wanted to do something original and do my own thing. I don't want to do somebody else's property. Then Disney came out and Disney said, hey, we really appreciate everything he's done and we wish him the best. But some people over at Fox are speculating that basically they just don't want to do business together. Supposedly Josh Trank was a bitch to work with on the Fantastic Four reboot. That he was very frantic and angry and late and yelling, and he just had trouble working on something on that size and needed a lot of help. And the Disney people found out, and they were like, man, we can't hand this guy a Star Wars movie then. And you could tell things have been kind of in motion for a while, because he was supposed to be at Star Wars Celebration a couple weeks ago, and then they said, oh, he's sick and he's not here. and that just seemed like a cop-out, and now we find this out, so obviously there was more to it. So we'll see. This is all rumors and speculation. Who knows if it really was as legit as they make it out to be, or Disney just got scared and said, we really don't want to work with this guy. So either way you cut it, Josh Trank is not going to be filming the next Star Wars anthology film. Alrighty. The ABC Revenge series finale is going to be airing on May 10th. So if you're into Revenge, don't miss that. It's going to be your last episode. Let's see here. Sorry, I don't want to repeat any news here. My list is so long of stuff to talk about. And HBO has ordered Lorne Michaels. Of course, he's the creator and head of Saturday Night Live. HBO has ordered his new comedy series called Brothers in Atlanta. So that's a new show that he's come together with. Discover has renewed Naked and Afraid for a third season. ABC Family's Mortal Instruments drama has added a Blue Bloods and Telenova alums. I read you their names, but you would have no idea who I was talking about. Age of Ultron broke records on Friday for an $85 million debut just for Friday alone. We have an article up about how Age of Ultron lays the groundwork for Black Panther, if you're interested. We have a first look at Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman sketch art, and you can see that on our Instagram exclusively. And let's see. Ha 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 ha. Just looking at the title of last week's show. Ha 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 ha. Let's see. Okay, so up next we have that the CW is delaying season 3 premiere of Beauty and the Beast. I don't even know how this show is still on, man. Like the CW says the ratings are horrible for the show, and they keep airing it in the summer because nobody's watching. And the show was originally scheduled to debut on May 21st, and it's now been pushed back to Thursday, June 11th. So there you go. If you're a fan of the CW's Beauty and the Beast, it's been pushed back to June 11th. We have the first trailer for Simon Pegg's new film, Absolutely Anything, which it looks kind of stupid, but it looks kind of funny. Like, it's like these aliens give him powers to see if he'll do good or do evil with it, and his dog talks to him, and his dog is voiced by Robin Williams, and basically anything he asks for, it just happens. It's kind of like he can make wishes and do whatever he wants, and then the aliens are watching to see what he does with the power. I think it looks pretty funny, actually. We have all the new latest details on Batman Arkham Knight's Season Pass that's been announced, so you can check that out if you're interested in getting that video game. Scarlett Johansson was the host of Saturday Night Live this past Saturday, and they did a really cool mock fake trailer with her as Black Widow in basically a mock movie romantic comedy called Age of Me. So it's called Black Widow, The Age of Me, with her falling in love with Ultron and them trying to have a relationship. It was actually pretty damn funny, so you can check that out on our Twitter page or look on the SNL YouTube page, and you'll find that it's pretty hilarious. Avengers Age of Ultron ended up having the second largest domestic opening of all time, behind, guess what? A other Avengers movie. Yes, Avengers 2 did not crack what the first movie did. Avengers 1 made $207 million at the box office opening weekend. I thought this one would, but supposedly box office was down so much on Saturday because of the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight that really crushed the box office. So, Age of Ultron ended up making, originally thought 187 million, but I believe the final number was 191, which is the second biggest of all time. And wrap your head around this. Marvel also has the third highest grossing opening film also, which is Iron Man 3, with like 175 million. So Marvel has the top 3 biggest opening weekend films of all time. So it's funny when if anybody, you hear anybody trying to be like, man, Age of Ultron didn't have that great of an opening. Everybody's disappointed. Nobody's disappointed with this. It's $191 million, the second biggest of all time. The movie has already grossed over $600 million worldwide in 2 weeks. Marvel, Disney, everyone involved is very happy with that. So, yes, it didn't break the 207 record, but that also, there was the Kentucky Derby, there was a big basketball game, you had the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. There was a lot of things going against Age of Ultron. They said that it lost probably 40% extra of what it would have gotten if nothing else was going on that Saturday night. So, it did pretty damn good. Moving on, we have the first picture of Vanity Fair's new magazine coming out, which is Star Wars themed, and on the cover is Chewbacca with Han Solo and some of the new stars of the film, so that's pretty cool. We also were surprised very nicely this past Sunday night by director David Ayer, who's doing the Suicide Squad film. He sent out a nice little tweet that said, Task Force X is assembled and ready. And if those of you that don't know, Task Force X is the alternate name of the Suicide Squad. So yes, he tweeted out the first picture of the entire squad together, and it's actually bigger than we thought. So we already knew about Jai Courtney being Captain Boomerang. We knew about Cara Delevingne being the Enchantress. We know RoboCop dude is Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman. We knew that we had Harley Quinn up in there. We knew Will Smith. Margot Robbie was going to be Harley Quinn. We knew Will Smith as Deadshot. We had heard about Akunimne Akubabi. Sorry I messed your name up, but he's going to be Killer Croc. But we also see that there's the addition of Jay Hernandez as El Diablo. They've added Slipknot to the roster, and they've also added Katana. So it's a big group, and it's a very cool picture. It says Welcome to Belle Reve on the back, and it has the whole crew lined up ready to go. So I like it. I think it's a pretty cool picture. I think everybody looks pretty damn tight on there. I think Margot Robbie looks incredibly sexy as Harley Quinn. I love it. I love the look of everything here that we've seen so far. The one thing I was pissed off about when I saw the Suicide Squad pick was that Will Smith's Deadshot didn't have a helmet on or have like the lens eyepiece on. And I was telling the other guys from Red Dragons, I was saying, man, if you're going to do this promo pick like this, why not show us that full Deadshot look? And literally about, 10-15 minutes later after dropping this picture, David Ayer sent out another tweet, and it was Will Smith in full costume with the helmet on, and the helmet's pretty damn badass, I gotta say. So I loved the Deadshot pick that came out secondly, and I was like, oh, there you go. So there must have been a bunch of people saying the same thing I was, and he was like, you know what, here's the damn mask if everybody keeps asking. So I thought it was really, really cool. I like the helmet. He's, very military looking, but the helmet's like white with like the encoded kind of laser lens on the right eye. It looks really, really cool. So once again, you can check these pictures out on our Instagram, or you can see them on the Facebook page as well. Very, very cool. Alrighty, let's see, what else do we got? And we talk a lot more about the Suicide Squad stuff on the Red Dragons Assemble brand new podcast that you need to go listen to on Red Dragons Radio. Captain Phasma has been revealed over in Star Wars The Force Awakens. Gwendolyn Christie has been confirmed as Captain Phasma. She is the Chrome Stormtrooper. You see it in the trailer. There's a Stormtrooper that looks very big, but the outfit is made out of chrome. That is Captain Phasma, played by Gwendolyn Christie, so that has been confirmed. We have the first international trailer for the new movie Legend, that's based on a true story. Tom Hardy plays a set of twins in it. We have the brand new San Andreas trailer. This is the final trailer for that. Looks so good. I can't wait to see this with The Rock. we also know another breaking kind of news of the Star Wars Force Awakens here is that it has been confirmed, and I'm totally spacing his name now, but we do know that Lupita Nyong'o, who signed on to the film, we didn't have any idea who she was, and we know that she is going to be playing a motion capture character. Motion capture character is a pirate by the name of Maz Kanata. So that's pretty cool. We know about Gwendolyn Christie playing Captain Phasma, the Chrome Trooper. And then we also found out, we already kind of speculated this. We know Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is the guy, the Sith-looking dude in the movie, in the trailers with the tri-bladed lightsaber. He looks like the kind of the Darth Vader version of this movie. It was confirmed that it is Adam Driver that's under the helmet. So Adam Driver from the HBO show Girls. There is a picture inside the magazine that shows Adam Driver without the helmet on in the Kylo Ren outfit. So that is a big confirmation there. Like I said, we all speculated it, but now we at least know 100% that Adam Driver is Kylo Ren. We have some nice behind-the-scenes pics of Harley Quinn from the filming of Suicide Squad, and you're going to want to see these because she looks awesome. A Grey Hulk almost made it into Avengers Age of Ultron. I was wondering this, and I found out that yes, during the Hulkbuster fight in the movie, he was supposed to turn into the Grey Hulk, but the studio people and everybody said, we don't really want to confuse anyone, so let's just keep him green. If you know about the Funko collectible action figures, Hot Topic actually had a limited edition Hot Topic exclusive Grey Hulk that was labeled as an Age of Ultron version. So you could tell that there was a plan to do that at one point. So I'm a little disappointed by that because everybody's waiting to see if he's going to become Grey Hulk or, any of the other colors. So I don't know. We have some designs of the planet Sullust coming out in Star Wars Battlefront video games, so you can check that out. Let's see here. Sella Ward is returning to Independence Day, and this time around she's going to be the president in Independence Day 2. Stephen King is they're remaking his movie It. You know that movie with the clown, Pennywise the Clown. They are redoing It, and they've been on a search to find who's going to be Pennywise, who's going to be the new clown. They've casted him, and it's Will Poulter. He is best known, of course, as Jason Sudeikis' friend in We're the Millers, the kid that plays their son when they pretend to be a family. He was awesome in We're the Millers, by the way. He was also in The Maze Runner as well. This is an odd casting choice. I was talking to someone on Twitter about this last night when we posted it, and they said, man, that's odd. And I said, it's odd, but I can actually see this working pretty well. And the guy I was talking to was like, you know what, I can see it too. This dude can get creepy, and I know he's going to do a pretty damn good job. So congratulations to Will Poulter, who is going to be the new Pennywise the Clown in the It remake. Like I said earlier, the second anthology film of the Star Wars anthology set is going to be a Boba Fett movie. The Simpsons has been renewed for 2 more years, so that's going to be crazy. That show just will not stop. Shawn Anders is going to be directing Jennifer Aniston in a new comedy called Mean Moms. Louis C.K. is going to write, direct, and star in a new comedy feature called I'm a Cop. Hopefully it's not like Let's Be Cops, because I don't want them copying it. I love Let's Be Cops, by the way. There wasn't a knock on that film. Nicki Minaj has joined Barbershop 3. Chris Evans says that Captain America Civil War is going to be a setup for the Avengers Infinity War. He says it will be laying the groundwork for that film, so that's pretty damn cool. I'm very excited about this news because I'm happy to announce that it is official, and Keanu Reeves is set to return for John Wick 2. John Wick was one of the biggest surprises of 2014, one of my favorite movies of the year, and we've all been waiting for a sequel. We heard rumors about a month or two ago, and now it's confirmed the directors are coming back, the writers coming back, and Keanu Reeves himself is coming back. John Wick 2 is on, baby. I cannot wait. Joss Whedon says that in his original ending for Age of Ultron, he wanted to introduce Captain Marvel and Spider-Man. But he says, of course, Marvel at the time, when he was finishing the film, said, nah, we're not ready to announce Captain Marvel, and we don't know what's going on with Spider-Man yet, so don't do it. So he didn't do it. And then by the time he was finishing making the film, they had announced that they're going to do a Captain Marvel film, and that they had acquired Spider-Man. And they went to him and they said, so do you still want to do that? And he said, I'm done making the movie now. And he was pretty pissed off because he could have had the ending he wanted, but they made him change it. And then they went back to him at the end and said, well, you could do that now. So yeah, he wasn't too happy about that. So, Joss, at least he had a good foresight of what to put in the film. In the Avengers Age of Ultron poll, they said over 50% of people skipped the movie for the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight on Saturday night. So that's why it took such a deep cut into the box office. So like I said, Avengers Age of Ultron was listed in its opening weekend. Let me pull the official number here so I'm not just speculating. $187.7 million. After the final tally came out yesterday, the film did make 191.3, so very, very cool. We have everything wrong with Pitch Perfect in 15 minutes or less. Our honest trailer of the week is 50 Shades of Grey. We have the first U.S. release trailer of Mr. Holmes, the new mystery drama starring Ian McKellen. HBO has ordered a new 80s set comedy series from David Fincher. The Sci-Fi Channel has ordered a new show called The Magicians that's based on the best-selling book series. Simpsons is coming back for season 27 and 28. That is so crazy. We do have a handy guide of who's who in the Suicide Squad. For those of you that don't know about these characters, you can check that out. We just posted that about an hour ago. Orlando Jones is leaving Sleepy Hollow. He will not be back for season 3. Speaking of Joss Whedon, it looks like he has quit Twitter over the Avengers Age of Ultron backlash. For some reason, there's a lot of people trying to hate on this film for the sake of hating it. And a lot of people have gone directly to Joss Whedon's Twitter saying, you screwed this film up, and you're an asshole, and we hate you, and da-da-da-da-da. And after the weekend of the film coming out yesterday, Josh just deleted his Twitter and said, F it. So, he's left Twitter, and that sucks, man. I don't know why people gotta be bullies like that. I mean, the film is certified fresh. Everyone I know that watched it loved it. But for some reason, there's this group of online people that are trying to hate on the film and get like this movement going saying, oh, this movie sucks. Idiots. Today, Lucasfilm confirmed that they are going to be doing a new Indiana Jones movie. It is in light development. No confirmation on when, though. They said that it is in very early stages. No script has been made. No casting choices have been made. It's just in the very early stages, and they know they want to do it. And it looks like it will be a reboot with a brand new actor portraying Indiana Jones. So it looks like Harrison Ford is hanging up the fedora, at least for now, unless something else changes. Star Wars is coming to the Disney Infinity game later this year, so that'll be pretty cool. Martin Freeman, Bilbo Baggins himself, and Holmes from the Sherlock British show, has joined Captain America Civil War in an undisclosed role, so that's pretty cool. Michael Nyquist and Famke Janssen are set to lead a new thriller called Every Good Boy Does Fine. Jason Momoa is set to be the villain in the Magnificent Seven remake that's coming out with Denzel. That's going to be pretty awesome. And speaking of Magnificent Seven, they have also casted Byung Lee. He, of course, is... oh my god, I'm spacing it now. Damn it. G.I. Joe. He's Storm Shadow. So this dude is pretty damn badass. And... yeah, so that's a pretty cool addition to the Magnificent Seven cast as well. Tom Hardy did an interview and said that he's very interested in playing the Punisher for Marvel. So hopefully Marvel's listening to that. You know, he's not going to be in the Suicide Squad anymore. Let's get him locked in to be the Punisher. That'd be badass. Josh Charles has joined the cast of Showtime Network's Masters of Sex in a brand new recurring role. John Chu is teaming for a new action adventure called Escape. And lastly, Bryan Singer has confirmed finally a release date for that X-Men Days of Future Past Rogue Cut. The extended Rogue Cut that's 17 minutes longer than the theatrical version is officially coming out on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD. You can now pre-order. The release date for it is July 14th. So very, very cool. I will definitely be picking that up. You know, and it looks like from this picture of the Rogue Cut that they put out, that Bryan Singer tweeted, it has Hugh Jackman's Wolverine laying on the table, and it's actually Rogue that's got her hands at Wolverine's head, like going into his mind. It's not Kitty Pryde. So it looks like a lot of things might have shifted for this film if that was the original case. So July 14th, you can check out that Rogue Cut, and we did tweet out the link if you want to pre-order it. So that is there. Alright, my friends, that is the news of the week. Let's get to our release dates and wrap this baby up. On DVD and Blu-ray as of today is Selma and Black or White. On DVD and Blu-ray as of Friday is going to be 50 Shades of Grey. In theaters this week is going to be Hot Pursuit, Maggie, and The D Train. Here's your box office top 10. Coming in number 10, it's Woman in Gold with 1.7. Number 9 is The Longest Ride with 1.7. Number 8 is Unfriended with 2 million. Number 7 is Ex Machina with 2.2 million. Number 6 is Cinderella with 2.4 million. Number 5 is Home with 3.3 million. Number 4 is Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 with 5.6 million. Number 3 is Furious 7 with 6.1 million. Number 2 is The Age of Adeline with 6.3 million. And your number 1 film is Avengers Age of Ultron with $191 million. It was crazy looking at the box office and seeing number 1, 191 million, number 2, 6 million. That's a massive difference between number 1 and number 2. I think it's safe to say that Age of Ultron will be holding on to that number 1 spot for this upcoming weekend, since nothing really big comes out. The biggest release is Hot Pursuit with Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara, and I don't think that's going to do very much money, maybe 10 to 15 mil. So Avengers will hold on, and then it'll get its first real competition the following week with Mad Max Fury Road, so we'll see how that pans out. Oh, not only just Mad Max, but Pitch Perfect 2 comes out that same weekend too. You can't count that one out, even though I'll be seeing Mad Max instead. So that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen, for another great edition of Am I on the Air? I hope you really enjoyed it. I think we made some really good timing here, only 50 minutes for this week's episode. Once again, please check out Red Dragons Assemble. Here, myself, Geeky Pat, and Peeps talk about all the news of April. Go check it out, reddragonsradio.com. Of course, follow on Twitter at Red Dragons Radio so you can see all of when the shows drop. You know, you can see when new episodes of Am I on the Air and Am I Still on the Air and Red Dragons Assemble and This Week with the Geek and Out of the Riffs and, you know, People's Forum. You can see when all these shows drop if you follow Red Dragons Radio and like Red Dragons Radio on Facebook. For us, our official webpage is amiontheair.com. You should bookmark it. You can listen to the shows. You can look at movie reviews. You can look at release dates. You can see all the latest trailers. Go to amiontheair.com. It's a great one-stop shop for you there on the entertainment stuff. Of course, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/amiontheair. Follow us on Twitter at amiontheair. You can follow me on Twitter at dxdonmega. You can subscribe and download us on iTunes. You can also find us on Stitcher and TuneIn. We are also available on Spreaker as well. So we are all over the interwebs. You can even see or let a video version run in the background on YouTube. It's not a real visual video. It just kind of says Am I on the Air in the name of the episode. But you can listen to the show on YouTube as well, just to kind of get it out there. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram so you can see our 15-second movie reviews, and you can see all the cool pictures of fan art and posters and different things that drop when they come out, like Suicide Squad and the Batman outfit and the Terminator Genesis poster. There was a lot of stuff dropping in the last couple of weeks, and people that followed us on Instagram got that first look at it. So make sure you follow that on Instagram. Shout out once again, reddragonsradio.com. Go support all the shows on there. Look at Am I on the Air? Look at Am I Still on the Air? Like I said, we're going to have that Age of Ultron spoiler review coming. My interview with Sparrow. We got the People's Forum. We got This Week with the Geek. We got Out of the Riffs. We got Pro Wrestling Nation. We got the Brothers of Destruction podcast. Lots of great stuff out there. If you're a podcaster and you're looking to maybe add something to the Red Dragons Radio Network that we may not have, hit us up. Just go ahead and send us a tweet at Red Dragons Radio. We're always looking to add great content. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Revenge of the 5th, May 5th, of Am I on the Air? My name is Don Mega, and until next time, peace. Red Dragons! Red Dragons!